All right, back here again with Trackside Northeast. I'm your host, Joe Cortese. We are joined by the youngest person I've gotten a chance to interview, and we've already cracked it off. I've asked him what 6'7" means. I have no idea. Still trying to figure it out. But I am joined today by Vincent Sarro, driver of the number 28 and the 2025 Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Outlaw Division Champion. Vincent, Vinny, whatever way you want to go, welcome, man. It's a pleasure to have you in here.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, I got a chance to show you around the studio. You got a chance to, I'm grooming them for TV. We're getting them ready to get in here. But let's start off with a couple of small questions. So where you from? How'd you get into racing? And also congratulations on winning the championship this year. Huge accomplishment.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm from Dedham, Massachusetts, right outside of Boston. I got started into racing. I'd always loved it since I was, 3, maybe even 2. I don't even know. But I remember I first saw a NASCAR race and on TV, and I was like, I want to do this. And since I was like 4, I was like, oh, I want to be a NASCAR driver. And when I was 13, it was January of 2024, and my grandfather got me into a go-kart league at Supercharge in Rentham. And that was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. And we went out and we won the division that we were in. So we did it again. I think it was it was like April, May, that kind of time was when I started the second one. And while we were there, we met another kid who raced at Seekonk, and he and his family, they were amazing, and they got us into it, and that's how our journey started.
Oh, that's awesome. See, and all you got to do is get a win, and then all of a sudden it's all you ever want, right? You get into it and you just love it. So, all right, so bring me through this year a little bit. You won the championship. You started racing at Seekonk last year, 2024, right?
Yeah.
And then how did the year, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you got any wins last year, and then you came in this year and you were on the podium like 7 times, right?
Yeah, so we didn't get any wins last year. We got very close. We got second in the second to last race at Seekonk. That was one wild race. This year, yeah, we were on the podium a lot. We had a very successful season.
Yeah, and getting with the championship, that's unbelievable. I mean, so run me through, getting into the Seekonk community and coming in and meeting people. Run me through a little bit about how was it getting into, 13 years old, coming over, and you had a little bit of racing experience, but then you come into this whole new world where you got all these different divisions, all these different people. Run me through your first thoughts and experiences.
Yeah, it was really cool to actually be at a racetrack and get to experience the real thing, because I had started playing NASCAR Heat 5 probably when I was around 9 years old, and not too long after that, I got Gran Turismo, so I was playing that for a little bit, and I still use that in NASCAR Heat 5. Those are my top 2 games I love to play. But it was cool to actually be at the racetrack and see, the environment, the people, how everything is, and it's just amazing. It's something that, if you are into that kind of thing, you should definitely try to make it to a race and experience it, because it's a lot of fun, and the people there are great.
Now, do you get a chance to talk to when you're out there? Like, how is the reception towards? Do you ask a lot of people about new things or things going on? Like maybe somebody like a vet or something, or a crew chief. Do you get a chance to talk with those people, try to learn ways and learn better ways of riding around the track?
Oh yeah, you'll get to talk to a ton of people. You'll get to meet a ton of great people. Last year I made a ton of great new friends, and this year I built on those relationships. And overall, my time at Seekonk is all positive experiences.
Now bring me through the Bandolero. I've never gotten in one. I've gotten into stock. I've gotten into modified. I've been in one of the next gen cars, but I've never gotten in something that small, kind of riding around. How does it ride? Is it ride something like is it similar to the go-karts you started with, or is it a complete different animal?
Well, I'm not a mechanic, so I'm probably not going to have as good of a explanation, but I can tell you what it kind of feels like. So you get in the car, you climb in through the roof, and you can only get in on one side. I forget what side. I think it's the left side. Has a bar underneath, like a small part on the fiberglass door, and that's the side you step on, and then you climb in through the roof, and the roof just kind of opens up. It's kind of cool. But
like that top end, and make sure you learn how. I mean, you've had a lot of experience learning this year how to get out of it. We don't need another situation like Connor Zilic. Praise he gets better. God, Connor, he's going to be an unbelievable racer in the Cup Series. I can't wait to see him up there. But when you're racing the Bandoleros and you get in, I mean, I talk a lot about getting into that zone with drivers. Is it kind of easier to get in that zone because you're in a more confined space?
I don't know. I guess for me, it kind of depends on the day. So, I think first race and last race, first race of the season and championship night, those were the two that I was really like, okay, like I really had the mindset, like I want to go out and win this race. And the first night especially because I felt bad because a bunch of my friends from Dedham, they came out and, it's like an hour away. So I felt bad that they had all come out because I didn't want things to go wrong. I wanted this to be a good experience for them. And I was super nervous before that race. And, that race was very wild because right before the race started, the receiver, we plugged the headphones into the receiver so we can hear the tower, so they can communicate to the drivers throughout the race. That fell in between the door, like in between the fiberglass and like whatever metal is there. And that was scary because I was like, we got to get that out. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was like running up to people, just asking people like, hey, do you got like a radio we can borrow? And we ended up getting it out. But yeah, there was like guys like shaking the car, like lifting it up, trying to get the radio because they thought it fell under the seat.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't realize until like later that it fell under the door. So that was pretty funny. I mean, looking back, it's funny. In the moment, it wasn't.
Well, at the moment, you're sitting there nervous because, all your buddies, all your family, they're all out here. And you're like, wow, the one thing I really need right now is like somebody in my ear to communicate, and it's under the seat. So
yeah, that was scary. So we finally got out on the track, and that was a very long race. There was a lot of chaos. I'll say that. But no, it was great, and when we ended up winning that race, it was just a huge sigh of relief. I was like, I did it. Like, I did this for my friends because that's what I wanted the most.
Now, when you get that first win, does it just make you want to come back and get it even more, or is it like you were saying, that sigh of relief where you're like, all right, we finally got one?
It's a mix of both. It's like you want to go out and do it again, but you also are like, okay, I've done it now. I've established that I can do this, and it's a bit of a confidence booster because it's like, okay, when you win your first race, you're like, okay, I know I can do this. It's not like the dream isn't impossible at this point. Like I did it at this level, so we're gonna go out and continue trying to do it. So it's definitely it's great though, that first win feeling.
Oh, I know. I can't imagine, man. They got me in a car when I was a kid once, and first I was in a go-kart. I ran my grandfather over. I hit him in the leg. Anyone who's watching who's my grandfather, they know about that one. Then they got me in a modified, and I was given a choice: college baseball or making the investment into racing. Luckily, my parents talked me into college baseball because I was just one of those people where I loved pedal to the metal going through, and tires would have not existed by the end of the race because I would have burned them up. But I almost burned up the ones when I did over at Thompson. Anyways, besides that point, let's get over to one more question I have for you before we go. Who's your favorite driver in the racing series, Xfinity, Truck Series, and is there anyone locally that you have seen get to the next level with either at Seekonk or the next level above that you really look after?
So I got a couple of drivers that I really like. Two of my favorites, Cup Series and Xfinity. I love this whole team, but William Byron, Hendrick Motorsports, I really love that group. I've always been a fan of the 24 car, when Jeff Gordon was racing it. I think my first race that I went to was 2015 in Loudon. That was his final year. But Jeff Gordon, I always loved. William Byron, I've loved watching him. I was super happy when he won the 500 2 years in a row. That was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, and it's interesting with the iRacing and because I didn't know much about him when he first got in. And then I started reading up on him. Like, wow, this is pretty impressive. He did it very untraditional compared to a lot of racers that were already in it at that point.
And that's something that I also respect and really like is because I feel like Massachusetts, you don't really got a lot of racetracks around here, especially not through the year. Down south they got tracks everywhere and throughout most of the year, but it was great because it gave me that feeling like, okay, it's not impossible to do it from a simulator. And I don't have iRacing personally. It is something I do want to get, but I don't have the setup for it, so I just play Gran Turismo for a little bit.
Hey, Gran Turismo is fun. You ever see the movie?
Yeah, I saw the movie. That movie was great.
The movie was great, and I've noticed recently we're seeing a lot more in the movies that they're making. And the Days of Thunder, they're going to make a new. That was way before years of the original, but they're making a new one. Apparently, allegedly, we'll find out. But they've done a great job in the NASCAR Netflix series as well with What's the F1 one called? Drive to Survive, I believe. F1
Yeah, on
racing, I think
Netflix.
it's
That's
that.
that's
Oh
what
man,
that is.
it's good though because it's good. It's good for the sport. We need to get more into the digital age in this sport, and we've done a great job over the last couple of years. But you need that social media, you need that interaction because that's what people like to see. Not the average fan. They can't just go to a race for 5 hours and sit around and enjoy it. But we always say, just go to the track. You'll find ways to enjoy it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think isn't F1 just released a movie?
Oh yeah,
The
they
F1
did.
movie.
Yes, Brad Pitt, I believe, is in
Yeah,
it.
I haven't seen it, but I want to.
I'm
I've
definitely
seen
gonna have
clips.
to watch that. We'll figure out a way to get that, and we'll be back in less than 2 minutes. We'll be talking more with Vincent Sarro. I'm gonna have to give you a nickname. Or Vinny Sarro. Do you have a nickname yet?
If I do, I'm not aware of it.
Okay, well that's a good thing. All right, we'll be right back in less than 2 minutes. We'll talk more with Vinny here about his championship, what he loves about racing, and why racing in the Northeast is so important, and why we got to continue to talk about it and get it out there in the world. So we'll be back in less than 2 minutes. All right, back here again, Trackside Northeast. I do apologize. I'm not wearing my shirt and tie, but it's freezing out there this morning, which it's funny that we're talking about racing in November, and it's already chilly, and we're gearing up for the next season. You guys begin in May, I believe, right?
Yeah, late May typically. That's what it was last year. That's what it was this year. So
what does your off season look like right now? I mean, you got the championship, so you're drinking the apple juice out of the cup right now, and enjoying, living high, and enjoying your life. But what does the off season look for you right now?
I mean, I don't want to be negative, but it's not fun. I mean, I'd rather be at the racetrack. I am excited for the banquet. That's gonna be fun coming up the end of this month. And then right after that, we're going down to Southern National Motorsports Park in Wilson, North Carolina, which we also did last year. I'm looking forward to that. That's where I got my first Bandolero win after getting wrecked night one and then coming back and winning the second night. That was an amazing experience. But I'm excited to go back to that track because that's a really fun track. And the Thanksgiving Classic overall is just a great event.
Yeah, and a great memory too. And you'll remember that years to come. When you get older, you'll go back there. When in your later years, you'll be like, "Wow, this is where it all this is where that first win happened, and everything really goes from there."
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still look back on it and I'm like, wow, I can't believe we actually did that.
Hey, that's a good thing though, because life and expectations, if you expect to win every time, you will be dropped down to reality. I always go with the baseball terminology. It's not the greatest thing to do, but 1 for 3. You're failing 66, 67% of the time, you're still a Hall of Famer in that kind of sport. So you look at it a little different in racing and everything, but run me through a little bit when it comes to you got a crew chief, a team that works on your car, mechanic. How does that all work out?
I don't know if I don't really have a crew chief. I got a team that helps me through every race. My family, my grandparents, they get me to the race every Friday. And then I got a mechanic and his son who also races. They are absolutely amazing. They have helped me throughout this entire season. But he'll work on the car. His son will be spotter for me at tracks where you are allowed to have a spotter. Unfortunately, you can't have one at Seekonk. But yeah, no, they've been amazing, and they have helped me get to where we are today, and they have helped me become better. So that was always great.
And little wins, man. That's all it is. Little wins here and there, and you keep going. So what's the ultimate goal? We did talk about, what's the short-term goal? Obviously, you want to get to the Cup Series. You want to work your way up, and you want to become a NASCAR driver. But right now, if you're looking at, goals over the next few years, you're in high school right now?
Yeah.
So you're looking at, I don't know if you're looking at trade school after college, keep racing. What's kind of the shorter-term goals in the next 3 to 4 years you would like to see in your racing or just in life in general?
In terms of racing, I would like to get better in a legend car. I have test driven it once.
I've heard they're difficult to drive. I heard they're a very different style of riding.
It is. It's very different from. I haven't really driven that much. I've driven a car that has a gas and a brake, so that I need to get used to a shifter, and that's something that I really am not good with. I've never had a stick shift. I tried to set one up with my PlayStation, but unfortunately the shifter that I have does not work with my PlayStation. So what I'll do is I'll go on the game and I'll try to time it. I'll watch what the game does. I'll try to time when it shifts, and I'll try to get used to that change. But it's not easy, and I hear that once you know how to drive a legend car, you can drive anything. I've seen a lot of drivers in legends, move up to late models and other stuff, and I want to learn to drive that. I think it's going to really benefit me in terms of, anything that I go to.
Bigger car, more horsepower, different tread on the tires and everything. You learn all that as you go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that, I think, and I always hear, legends are like the next big step. I've heard mixed things, but I've also heard that, it's probably one of the better steps to take in terms of moving up. So that's my next step, is just hone my skills on the legend, and hopefully we'll just go as far as we can from there.
All right, so tell me why you chose the number 28, or was that just given to you?
No, I chose a 28 because it's my birthday. My birthday's May 28th.
Oh, no way. I'm the 30th. That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Gemini
that's cool.
brothers. Gemini.
Yeah.
Is that what we are? I don't even know.
I don't know what we are.
I
think
we're
Gemini.
Geminis, yeah.
I don't pay attention to that stuff, so I wouldn't know.
So, hey, you're running through this year, and you made a huge jump from last year to this year. Tell me a little bit about what you learned in that time frame that got you to the next level.
Well, I learned a lot. Let me see where I should start. I learned about the track, and I learned about my car. That's one of the biggest things. You have to know your car, and I think that's something that, you have to get that relationship with whoever's working on it, because you got to tell whoever's working on it, how it feels, how you want it to feel, and I think that is something that really benefits a driver, is when they're able to talk to their mechanic or their crew chief or whoever's working on the car, and they can make the car the way the driver wants it, and the driver can go out and drive it. And the driver also knows how to relay that information to the crew chief or the mechanic, whoever's taking care of it. But that's huge. I learned a lot about that. I learned a lot about the line on the track. Early in the season, I was making this mistake where I was going really low on the track, and I wasn't letting my car come up a lot. And that was because I was worried someone was going to come by on the inside line and take the spot, which did happen a few times. But I also got passed on the outside by making that mistake, because I would come too low and the car would slide and I'd go into like this drift. And that's what would kill my momentum, and I'd lose track position.
It's amazing what you can look at when you look at it, because normal people watching racing, they just think, oh, going around circles, doing this thing. But you realize the different lines and what it's actually, is it the Gran Turismo movie? I forget. Is that the one where he's sitting in the simulator and he's like, why aren't you following the line?
Yeah.
And he says, because I'm trying to figure out which ones go faster, what goes better for the way I race and everything.
And I figured that out on Gran Turismo myself. There was this one track that I was going around, and the racing line was like all the way at the bottom of the track. But the turn was like a massive bank turn. And so I was like, if I ride this high line, I'm going to carry way more speed momentum out of it down the front stretch than if I go low. So
it's interesting.
That's something you can learn.
The smallest little changes. He gets you that extra couple milliseconds or an extra second on your lap, and that goes a long way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It definitely helps. I have found that, NASCAR Heat 5, Gran Turismo, those have really helped me as a driver. And it's something that, sim racing is definitely newer. It's not like, again, like you said earlier, it's not really a traditional way of coming up through the ranks, going through the sport, but it is very helpful. And I think it's cool because you can go home, sit in your living room, sit in your basement, wherever you're going, you have that setup, and you can practice without being, outside at a track, and it still helps.
Yeah, it goes a long way, and technology is going to be a great benefit, especially for your generation in the future when it comes to just sports or anything in general. I mean, AI, that's a whole different conversation that we could get into. I'm sure you know more about it than I do at this point, but we'll be back in less than 2 minutes. We got a couple more questions to ask Vincent or Vinny here, and we'll discuss a little bit more on the personal level about what else you like. And I've noticed you like video games, and I do too, so we'll have a fun conversation. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes right here on Trackside Northeast. All right, we're back here at Trackside Northeast. I'm your host, Joe Cortese. I'm joined by Vincent Sarro. Vincent, tell me a little bit about what you like, because you're young. What else do you like about, the world? What else it piques your interest outside of racing?
Well, we've mentioned video games, so I think that's a pretty, granted all of them are racing games, so, I like collecting, Hot Wheels cars and NASCAR diecasts. I like that stuff.
That's a good hobby, too, because it's cheaper.
Yeah, it is definitely cheaper.
Wait till you get older and you start collecting actual cars.
I can't tell you how many cars I've bought in from, Dollar Tree and Savers, because there's ones, right near my house. So I'll just head up there with a couple of friends and we'll just find stuff. It's fun.
Oh, living
But,
the day and age.
Yeah, no, it's great. You know, it's a short little bike ride. That's another thing I like biking.
I was gonna say, do you
and
got to do any do you do a lot of like cardio or anything to like get yourself ready for races or anything? Or I mean, I know you're young, you're not like in a specific regimen like a professional or anything, but do you do anything extra outside like extracurricular to get yourself prepared?
I used to run track, and then I switched over to racing as like my full-time sport that I wanted to focus on. But I'd say track probably helped, and biking definitely helps.
Now, do your friends at high school, they know how much you're into racing and how much you do? I know you said you had friends come down from Dedham, but do they know? Like, did you show up after winning the championship and your buddies and everything knew?
Yeah, no, they definitely know, and they were at that championship race too, which was great. They know, and some of them have known me long enough to know that like this is what I've wanted to do since I was really young. So they recognize, you know, what it is, and they might not understand it, but they know how much I love it and how passionate I am about it.
And those are the important people you want to keep around your circle, because you're going to go through life and you get friends and stuff. And this is a 31-year-old telling you, is the ones that if they don't love like what you do, but they support you, those are the true ones you want to stick around with and everything. So
Absolutely.
any particular person, group, or anyone that, you know, that you want to thank or give a tribute to for, you know, what your success and what you've done, or anyone who's just helped you along the way that comes to mind?
All my family and friends that have shown up at, you know, races or have sent messages, good vibes and everything. The ones that have been there, that have supported, that have helped me along the way. Huge shout out to the Wakefields. They're the ones that have taken care of the car, made me better. Joey and Brody Wakefield especially, you know, Joey being an absolutely amazing mechanic. Brody is a great leader in terms of coaching, and he's a great driver himself. He actually picked up a win at Dominion Raceway, which was awesome. I think he did it last year. So I think that was his first Legends win, but he did a great job with that. But he's been amazing. You know, he'll come up to me before the race. He'll help coach me. He'll help get me in that mindset that, all right, it's go time. You know, we gotta get out there and do what we do. And they have been very influential, and just I can't say enough good things about them.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's all. It's community. That's what it is. I mean, being around Seekonk and being around local racetracks in general, whether it's Seekonk or up and down the East Coast or around the country. I mean, we hear stories. You see them on social media, Facebook, Instagram, all those things. It's just like there's a community that's a lot different than a normal sport that you could see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. I mean, the 2 years that I've spent at Seekonk, I know I still consider myself on the newer side. I haven't really been there that long. But I've had a great time, and Seekonk is definitely a place that I want to keep growing with community. You know, I love the community around it. People that run the track, they do a great job. But it's just overall a great environment, and it's very fun for families and stuff. I think you got the Seekonk Grand Prix right around the corner from there, so that's a good spot. I've never been there, but I've heard it's a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I actually had Dave Darling in last week, and he was talking about how that's how he started racing. He was racing over there and those things, and then he was with like Rick Martin, and he was young, and then all of a sudden he ends up racing at Seekonk. So, all right, so where else have you raced around the country? You said you raced down south one time. Have you gone anywhere else?
So yeah, Seekonk being the main track, we also raced at Star Speedway in New Hampshire, and we raced at Waterford down in Connecticut, and then Southern National. But other than that, those are the 4 tracks that I've raced at.
Any future plans to travel around the country and race?
If I can go that far, absolutely. I mean, that's what I want to do.
It's definitely in the cards, and I don't even know. Does anyone have the number 28 in the NASCAR Cup Series right now?
No, nobody has it.
They may have to hold on to that for you then. We may have to get you there. All right, so we talked a little bit about racing. We were discussing during the break a little bit about the sport and iRacing. So I want to get your thoughts on iRacing a little more. I mean, you're in that generation. Do you talk to other younger drivers? Are they into iRacing as much as you are?
Well,
or into any video game racing in particular, you know?
Well, most people that I go to school with and know that are like around me, like physically nearby, I don't really think a lot of people are into racing near where I live. But as the other drivers that I've met at Seekonk, they are definitely into it and they enjoy it. I know they all have it. which I'm kind of jealous of. Like, I want to get iRacing. Like, I want to join you guys on that. But
Well, the leaves are dropping, so Mom, Dad will have to get him out and start working in the field a little bit and get out and about. But all right, Vincent, so it was great having you in. It really was. It was a pleasure. You are my youngest guest so far. Well-spoken, polished, you do it all, man. So you got a great future ahead of you. Congratulations on the championship and just the change in 1 year. I mean, I got to give you credit. I mean, a lot of times I remember being a kid and, you have one tough year. Maybe you hang up the cleats or you call it quits, but coming back and being able to show the success that you had, you got a good future ahead of you.
thank you very much. And thank you for having me on the show. I had a great time here.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a blast. We'll have you back on again. Oh, any chance anyone can follow you, racing pages or anything? What do you have out there for that?
Oh, yeah, at Team Sarro Racing on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, perfect. All right. And we'll be back here again next week, Trackside Northeast. We've got about a month left of shows, and we're going to be doing a best of series, and we'll take a little hiatus, and then we'll get back up and running in February with the World Center of Racing, the 500. I can't wait to get down there. So, Vincent, pleasure to have you down here. It was a great time, and I can't wait to have you back on.
Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for having me.
All right, we'll see you next week right here on Trackside Northeast. I'm your host, Joe Cortese. Any questions, comments, or concerns, shoot me an email at jcortez@WPRI.com. Be safe, be well, most importantly, be kind. Everyone's got their own personal battle behind a closed curtain. We'll see you next week.